welcome to another episode, special edition of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs like Eddie Lopez. What's happening, Eddie?
How are you?
Do people call you Lopes? Have you had somebody call you Lopes?
No, like Davy Lopes
Like
from
like
the
David
Dodgers?
Lopes? Yeah, like David Lopes from the Dodgers.
They call me a lot of things. That's not one of them.
That's good. That's a very good thing. We're here at Bryce Cleveland's 2016 Conference for Micropigmentation. This is an amazing event.
It's life-changing. My life was changed. I have a procedure. I've had it for 2.5 years.
You've had it for 2.5 years, and
Yes.
by the way, your Scalp-Aesthetics shop is in Denver, Colorado,
Yes.
Jefferson County.
Denver County.
Denver County.
We're in Denver
Oh,
County.
okay, you're in Denver County. All right. And so you had it done about 2 years ago.
Yeah, about almost 2.5 years ago here in Scottsdale by Bryce and Joe Taylor.
How did your life change?
You know,
Tell me the before procedure life of Eddie Lopez, and then tell me the after procedure life of Eddie Lopez.
we're all results driven. So when I started the bald, I did a lot of crazy stuff. You know, you do the comb over and you do the bird's nest, things to get you through. I didn't do the chemistry set. Bryce was the chemist, okay? I mean, clearly. I didn't do those things. I went for the shaved look. I'm Hispanic and Pacific Islander, so that goes with my culture.
Sure.
It was a fast result. You could shave it down, and it was new, and you felt reinvigorated, and it was great. It really was. But after 15 years of doing the same thing, I don't know anyone that's had the same style for 15 years. You kind of start to wonder a little bit. And what happened was I got a multimedia message from my cousin, and he had the procedure done. I had no idea.
That this existed.
Yeah,
That this procedure existed. You had no idea.
It was crazy. It was
All right.
crazy. He sends me this picture. He's got this lineup. He just looks fantastic. At first, I thought he was just messing with me. So I texted him back and I said, "What did you do?" And he says, "I got Scalp-Aesthetics." And I said, "What's that?" And then that's when my research and everything changed.
Did you notice a change in your cousin's attitude, personality, demeanor, confidence when he texted you, when you talked to him?
You know, actually, he was very. We have sibling rivalry, first of all.
Right.
Whatever he has, I have to have it. Whatever, and vice versa. So, he was a little bit timid about it. He wasn't sending it to me as, "Hey, this is in your face." He was saying, "Hey, I got this. What do you think?" And I was just blown away. It was so amazing and believable. And I live in Denver. He's here in Tucson. So I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm going to make a flight. I'm going to go down there. I want to see this in person. I saw it on the internet,
Right.
but I want to see it in person." I'd never heard of it. As soon as I got to Tucson, I was unloading my vehicle. He comes out of his garage, and it's late. It's late at night. And I see this perfect shadow line or whatever it was. I didn't know what it was. And I walk in there, and I just looked at him and I said, "I'm getting that. I'm getting that.
Just like
I
that.
don't care how much it costs.
And you
I don't care where I have to go.
And
I'm going to get it."
You notice a change in him.
Oh yeah, he was happy. He just seemed really happy. He's married. He's a family man. So maybe, it's a little different situation. I'm also married, so and have kids. So it was a little different for us. We were you're not so concentrating on maybe I go to the nightlife and maybe I go and do things where I'm in the public eye.
Right.
We're just around our family. But I'll tell you, the difference when I brush my teeth or when I'm drying off my face after washing it, it's crazy. You see it on there. I mean, for 20 years, you're seeing it go this way. It's going backwards. And, now it's still there. I tie my shoes, it's still there. I'm just like, yeah.
You can't stop
It's
seeing
not going anywhere. It's still there. It's wonderful.
You had a business prior to having Scalp-Aesthetics in Denver, Colorado. You had a business that you ran for about 20 years.
Absolutely.
And surely it was a good business and it's profitable and everything else.
Yes.
But were you truly happy?
For a long time, yes. It was my dream. My wife and I, we built something that together, with our own hands. And at our peak, we had 12 locations in 3 markets. We had Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado.
Right.
34 employees. I traveled all the time. And it was very rewarding. But after a while, it gets very cumbersome. I missed a lot on my son, his early times. So it gets to a point, and then the recession hit,
Sure.
and that just killed everyone. Retail
Right.
just went. So we were closing and selling locations and downsizing, and so we essentially had to rebuild ourselves. And so what ended up happening, selling this, closing that, at the end of the day, we said, hey, let's go back to mom and pop. That's how we built everything.
Go back to basics.
Yeah. So we did that, and all that energy, this is a 20-year career. I saw the first GSM chip
Wow.
with voice stream, you know?
That's
I saw the blue lights, the flashing antenna. We did all that. We did that. You know,
and probably pagers, of course.
of course. We also saw the advent of the no contract, and we also saw the launch of the smartphone. I mean, I remember when there was no iPhone. iPhone did not exist.
Right.
BlackBerry ruled the roost.
Sure.
They were number one. So anyway, seeing all these things and going through this process, I was burned out. You know, I wasn't giving my customers what they deserve. My wife is way better at it than I am anyways, and she always focuses on that. So for me, I realized I was burned out, and I started looking. And when I got the procedure, you know, and that's another thing. Whenever you do the procedure, every single client, the first thing they say, oh, you can make all this money, and oh, this is so great. I want to open a location. And at the first, you know, the first 3 or 4, 10 or 15 guys, you're like, yeah. Then after a while, you're like, everyone says the same thing. So when I came to Bryce, you can only imagine. When I came to Bryce, he hears that exponentially more than I ever heard it. So I came to him and I said, hey, I want to do this. And I know he's like, oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Sure. And then he already had somebody in Denver. So he had an arrangement for Denver. So I was like, okay, well, just keep me in mind. So at the end of the day, he calls me. He says, hey, you still interested in Denver? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, it may not, you know, the deal may not work out with the other people. I said, all right. I said, okay, well, just call me, let me know. And so, you know, it didn't end up working out with them. And so he gave me a shot. And I set some goals, and we opened on time. And, you know, I was able to, the most important thing for me on opening was to open on par with the industry. You don't want to perform this life-changing event for someone and not do it right.
And I was going to say, because now your life was changed, but you're also changing other people's lives, Eddie.
Yes.
And so what you wanted to do was to be as perfect as Bryce was in working with you.
Absolutely.
You want to kind of do the same perfection and the same work with somebody else. Nothing
Absolutely.
less than that.
Absolutely.
There's no second takes.
No, there's not. And one way that Scalp-Aesthetics keeps all of us on par is the continuing education. You can always go back into the programs, the online programs. Hey, I'm struggling with this, or we have a great mentoring program. I was mentored. So when I came in, Joseph Taylor was my trainer and mentor. Great friend. Top 5 in the world, most likely.
Wow. And you have never had any kind of experience in this industry at all. I mean, all you had was the passion, and you were convinced in your own head, if you will, that this can change other people's lives as it did mine.
Absolutely. I had a little bit of art, you know, coming up. I did pottery and wood and different mediums like that. And even in college, I took a series because it was required. And I thought to myself, man, I'm really dogging this. I better get straight A's in this series, because I'm telling you right now, this is nothing compared to my other classes. And not to lessen what I learned there. I never in a million years thought that I would ever learn anything in an art class that I would able to live my dream, this dream, the scalpel dream. I never thought that would happen, and when it happened, and when I was involved in it, it was just life changing.
You're making now this dream. Your confidence changes, and now this is your lifestyle. This is what you do. This is
the scalpel life.
The scalpel life.
Yeah,
all right,
the
there you go. The
life.
scalpel life.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you know, in the retail business, you can see 100 people a day, and that's average in a mall. I mean, that's the traffic. That's what we get in and out of our shop. Here, I can see 5 or 6 people in a week, and it's better for me. I provide a higher level of service in that one-on-one relationship.
It's not a numbers game as in any other industry. It is a quality.
Yes, yeah,
It is a
yes
quality.
and no,
Okay.
because with that quality and with the passion that you talked about,
Yep.
the numbers come.
Okay, got it. And what I meant was the number of people that come, like you were
Yeah.
talking about, you know, they come
Lower.
100, right?
Yes,
but,
way
but
lower.
but quality of those people that
Absolutely.
you're, and each individual is a satisfied customer. Their
Yes.
lives are changing,
Yes.
and your life has changed as a
Absolutely.
result of it.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's one thing that I focus on in my center is I tell people, my clients, my perspectives in the consult, I'll work on you till you're satisfied. Okay? If you want 2 dots right here, we're going to have a long talk and you're buying lunch. Okay? But let me tell you something. If you don't like the line or we need to go a little more dense here, I'm willing to do that for my client, you know, because they deserve that.
And you know what's going to look good on somebody's head.
You have a good idea.
You got a
Yes.
good idea.
Yes.
Expanding this into the Latin market,
Yes.
Eddie, I see a huge void, and I see you probably pioneering into that particular market.
So when we launched, I did that. So we launched with we launched with Telemundo
Yes.
in Denver. So I have a relationship with Abel Carell. I don't know if you know Abel, but Abel Carell from Telemundo.
Yep.
I launched with him. We also did a few other mediums. So we did some paper. We actually did some rodeos, you know, some events. It was fun. And you know what? It was important. I started my cell phone business the exact same way. I started with the Hispanic market, and it exploded. So I wanted to follow the same
Yep.
with the scalp game. And the Latin market, I feel, is a lot more forgiving. They're very current on new trends, so they're very accepting, and their eyes are always open. Our perception in America of Mexico per se is totally skewed. It's so incorrect. I've been to Mexico. I went to Guadalajara. I've been to DF, and it was a whole different experience. Everyone walking around, I was darker than every person walking around in Guadalajara. They all had blue eyes and blonde and spoke Spanish.
You are changing perceptions. You're concentrated on the Hispanic market. You're living the Scalp life. Eddie Lopez, my new best friend, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unbelievable.
Look forward to it.
Hey,
Thank you
hey,
so
Eddie,
much. Thank
hey,
you.
Eddie, just between you and me, how much did you pay for that jacket?
$20. Men's Warehouse.
You told me that story,
That's
man.
true. It's the truth.
I couldn't believe it.
true.
I'm gonna have to see a receipt, man.
I swear.
Because that's value right there.
I get rewards from those guys, and I'm gonna show you on my rewards. I'm gonna show you on the receipt. It's gonna show Joseph Abad, corduroy sports jacket, $20. I swear.
You know how to shop, brother. Next time you take me with you.
Absolutely.
Eddie, thanks again, man.
No, thank you.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
With that, we're out.